All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You know, those moments when your PC just starts acting weird. Mysterious slowdowns, strange errors that pop out of nowhere. It's super frustrating, right? Well, today, we're going to demystify Windows. I'm going to show you a secret toolkit that pros use to find and fix these kinds of problems for good.
I mean, you know that feeling, right? Your computer is just dragging its feet, but you pull up the task manager and everything looks fine. It's like the real problem is hiding just out of sight, deep down inside the operating system. It honestly feels like your PC is keeping secrets from you.
And you know what? A lot of the time it is. The thing is, your standard tools like Task Manager, they only really scratch the surface. They give you a high-level view of what's happening right now, but they don't tell you why it's happening. They don't show you what's been slowly building up in the background, causing all the trouble.
So to get to the bottom of it, to get the real answers, you need something more powerful. And that's where sysinternals comes in. Now, this isn't some weird third-party software you have to be suspicious of. This is a professional-grade suite of tools straight from Microsoft themselves. It's built for exactly this, deep dive troubleshooting.
So what exactly is it? Well, think of sysinternals as a whole collection of these small but incredibly powerful utilities. There are dozens of them, and each one is laser-focused on giving you insane visibility into a very specific part of Windows. We're talking about the kind of deep insight that lets you find the root cause of problems that honestly would otherwise stay completely hidden.
Okay, so there's no way we can cover all of the tools today, but I want to focus on 3 of the most essential ones. And first up, we have PSExec. I like to call this one the master key for any PC on your network. It's all about remote control, but with a really crucial difference.
So at its core, PSEx is a command line tool. What it does is let you run commands and programs on another computer, just as if you were sitting right in front of it. And I'm not just talking about firing off a simple command here and there. Now, you can launch a full, interactive command prompt on that remote machine. It's incredibly powerful.
But here's the absolute game changer with PSEC. It doesn't need any pre-setup on the other computer. You think about something like remote desktop, well, that has to be turned on and configured ahead of time. With PSEC, as long as that PC is on the network and you have the admin password, you're in. That's it. This is an absolute lifesaver when you're dealing with a frozen machine or when normal remote access just isn't working.
Really, its true power shines in a crisis. Think about it. You can remotely restart a service that's completely crashed the system. You can dig into log files to figure out what went wrong. I mean, just imagine this. A server's desktop is totally frozen, remote desktop won't connect, you're stuck. But with PSEC, you can pop open a command prompt from your own desk, restart the graphics driver service, and poof, the machine comes back to life. It's just an indispensable tool if you're the person people call to fix their computers.
All right, let's move on to our next tool. If PSEC is our master key, then TCPview is our network detective. It's built to answer a very simple but very important question. Who is my computer talking to on the internet right now? And why?
What TCPview does is give you this live, constantly updating list of every single network connection your PC has open. It shows you exactly which app opened the connection, where in the world it's connecting to, and the status of that connection. It's just pure, real-time visibility.
Now you might be thinking, hang on, doesn't Windows already have tools for this? And yeah, it does, but they often fall short. You've got the resource monitor, for instance. It gives you some network info, but it tends to hide a lot of the crucial details. It's a little too simple.
Then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got the classic netstat command. And that thing just gives you a massive, raw dump of data. It's like a fire hose of information that's just totally overwhelming and really hard to make sense of when you're in a hurry. And that's why TCPview is just right. It hits that Goldilocks zone. It's not too simple, and it's not too complicated. It gives you everything you need in this clean, color-coded, live updating window. New connections show up in green, ones that just closed show up in red. It makes it so easy to see, at a glance, exactly what's happening on your network.
So what would you use this for in the real world? Well, imagine you install some new piece of free software, and suddenly your internet connection feels sluggish. You fire up TCPview and boom, you see that new program is constantly sending data to some server you've never even heard of. That's a huge red flag, right? You can instantly find and shut down apps that are phoning home, spot suspicious background activity, or even just double check that your firewall is doing its job.
Okay, on to our third and final tool for today. This one is for tackling maybe the most common and frustrating problem of all. The classic, my PC is slow and I have no idea why. Meet RAM map. It's a memory analyzer that goes incredibly deep into how your computer's physical RAM is actually being used.
See, RAM map doesn't just tell you how much RAM is free. That's too simple. It literally dissects every single megabyte and tells you exactly what it's being used for. It breaks it all down into super specific categories, like memory being used by your drivers, or the core system kernel, or even the hidden file cache that Windows uses to try and speed things up.
Now, let's compare that to our old friend, the Task Manager. Task Manager gives you a snapshot. It tells you what's happening this very second. RAM map, on the other hand, shows you the bigger picture. It shows you what's been building up in your memory over time. And this is how you can spot a slow memory leaked from a bad driver, or see that Windows is hoarding a ton of old cache data, leaving less and less room for the apps you're actually trying to use.
Here's a perfect example. Let's say your PC has plenty of RAM, but you notice it just gets slower and slower as the day goes on. You open up RAM map and see this huge chunk of your memory is labeled standby. Well, that's just old cache data from files you might have opened hours ago. And the best part? RAM map lets you clear that cache with a single click, instantly freeing up all that memory and making your PC feel snappy again. It just turns a total mystery into a simple one-click solution.
So, when you look at these three tools together, PSX, TCP View, and RAM map, it's pretty clear they represent a huge shift in how you can approach PC problems. It's about moving away from just guessing and restarting and hoping for the best, and moving toward a mindset of targeted, evidence-based problem solving.
And really, this quote just says it all. Having the right tools is the difference between, restarting your computer for the 5th time and just hoping it fixes the issue, versus actually identifying the one broken service that's causing the problem and fixing it for good.
At the end of the day, these utilities give you the power of real visibility. You don't have to feel like your computer is hiding secrets from you anymore. You now know exactly where to look to see what's really going on behind the scenes, from every network connection to every last megabyte of memory.
So, I'll leave you with this thought. The entire sysinternal suite, it's totally free to download directly from Microsoft. So now that you know what's possible, what are you going to find on your own machine? What hidden processes, strange network connections, or memory hogs are waiting to be discovered?